Hello and welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Tanya Rivero. The problem of people pointing powerful lasers at airplanes is growing to dangerous levels. This despite tough punishments for offenders. Here to tell us more about this alarming trend is WSJ reporter Ashby Jones. Ashby, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about these lasers. They're powerful enough to actually blind pilots?
They are. It's fascinating. These lasers are a lot of the time, they're simply the laser pointers that you see in college classrooms, or you see business executives use with PowerPoints or whatever.
So they're nothing special?
Nothing special. You can go on Amazon and buy these things for $15 or $20. Now, there are super high-powered ones that shoot high up in the sky, but apparently you can hit an airplane with just these small little laser pointers.
And they're incredibly dangerous because not only do they reach high levels, but they also sort of fan out in the cockpit. Is that right?
That's right. So apparently what happens is the beam of light sort of cones out a little bit and actually doesn't lose a lot of power. It just sort of cones out, and when it hits the glass of the cockpit, it refracts and becomes very, very bright, and has temporarily blinded pilots, and is a real problem.
And so the reports of these incidents are on the rise.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. 10 years ago, there were very few of these incidents, and something like 200 in 2005. In 2013 alone, there were something close to 4,000. The numbers seem to be steadying off a little bit, but it's still a huge problem, and the FAA and FBI are very concerned.
Have there been any accidents attributed to this yet?
Not yet.
And yet is the crucial word.
Not yet,
here.
and that is the word. People say that it's just a matter of time before a pilot gets blinded or gets can't see for just a few minutes. Apparently, what these strikes happen often on takeoff and on landing, when the planes are sort of approaching airports, and those are really the critical times when pilots have to be able to see everything.
Right.
Those are the most dangerous flight times, and so that's the concern, that these strikes are happening. You get temporarily blinded, and who knows what could happen.
And law enforcement seems to think that most people are doing this accidentally or not aware of the damage they're causing? It's
a little of both. So these laser pointers have become easier to get. You can go on Amazon and buy them for $20. A lot of people have them. A lot of people buy them for their kids to play with. A lot of people use them to play with their pets. Their cats like to follow them around.
I have cats, and I must admit they do love these little lasers.
No, they go crazy for them, right? But apparently you can take them outside and shine them around, and it's just most of the time it seems like people are bored and just don't know what they're doing, and just say, hey, let me see if I can reach this plane. And before you know it, you're blinding somebody in the cockpit.
And yet the punishments are very severe. They include prison time.
That's right. So they just passed a new law in 2012 going at this very activity, and the penalties it's a federal crime. It's very serious. There was a guy who just got 14 years for doing this a couple months ago. Most of the sentences tend to be in the 1 to 2 to 3 year range, but still, you're talking about prison time for this activity.
And there are rewards for turning someone in as well.
That's right. The FBI hardly ever does this, but they have said we will pay up to $10,000 for information leading to the capture and arrest of anybody engaged in this activity. Because as you might imagine, it's really hard to find these people. They're 30,000 feet away on the ground shooting a beam of light. It's hard to find them, so the FBI is looking for help and willing to pay to get it.
All right, thank you, Ashby Jones, for shedding light on that very important topic.
Thanks for having me.